Hi, so this is our Bandura Revised presentation by Jordan, Griffin, me, Nicola, and then Haley. So we're gonna get started.
Okay, so looking at the the pros, sorry. We can use external rewards to motivate children, so like gummy bears, gold stars, candy. The theory is also flexible, so it describes children's behavior and learning, so either being environmental or societal. And then it shows that children learn it in a social environment, so depending on the environment, that can change the child's behavior. So that could be, I guess, a pro or a con. And then there are multiple modes of learning within the theory. So it could be through direct experience, so that could be like inactive learning, or it could be through an observational learning, so observing others through social norms. And then incentives can affect performance as well, so that again could be a pro or a con. So for example, if a student is watching their parents smoke or swear, they're probably not going to do that behavior because they've seen the consequence of it. And then lastly, social cognitive learning adds to behaviorism from like Pavlov or Skinner, for example, showing that there is more than one way to learn than just like the operant and classical conditioning. And so now we'll move into the cons. So some cons is that through the use of external rewards, like if you do take them away, like a prize or a praise, that could just stop the behavior completely. And then also looking at accountability, when the main influence is based off of the environment, then the student can sometimes lack like accountability for their own actions. So the influence is placed more on the people in the community rather than the child's decisions in taking on the new information. And then again, going back to the we know more than we show, and performance doesn't always indicate learning, could be for example, a student may learn how to write the alphabet, but their fine motor skills are limited. So that's showing that they have learned, but the performance is affected because of other limitations. So yeah, now I'll pass it off to Haley and Griffin.
So we're going to talk about the differences for ages and grades. So students may behave differently in high school compared to when they are in elementary school. And there are various factors, but mainly they're both like extrinsically and intrinsically motivated by different things. So for example, elementary students in schools, they rely more on external rewards like candy. Students want to know more about what they'll get rather than what's happening. Then they have less life experience. They haven't learned enough or haven't been in enough situations to differentiate patterns of cause and effect. So they may rely on, for example, they may rely on others as sources of knowledge. Or if one student acts out, there's a good chance most of the elementary students in the classroom will act out in a similar way because they just don't know how else to react. But this differs in high school.
If we look at a high school student's response, they're more mature and aware of later life goals. So especially in this scenario, when a teacher stops giving out candy to students, when they get the answer right of a math question, students will probably still be engaged because they need a good math mark in math class to get into a good university. Their goal is university and not the candy itself. The students in high school are more intrinsically and internally motivated and self-regulated. And this really goes to show that the reinforcements are more indirect than direct in student learning.
Next, we're going to be looking at bridging the gap between behaviorism and cognitivism. So first, behaviorism. Behavior is shaped and strengthened through reinforcement. It is drill-based techniques that are used to instill a desired behavior. Then looking at cognitivism, it's learning is an internal brain process, and teachers should advocate for self-directed learning with their students. The link between these two theories is Albert Bandura, and he believes that there is a mediating process that occurs between the stimulus and response that occurs for both of these theories. And there are four main points of that: attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. Humans are active information processors, and they think about the relationship that behavior has with the consequences which could occur all the time. So the next, and that is all that we have for the end of our resubmission of the Bandura presentation. Thank you so much.